Hi everybody, welcome to Gabby's Art Studio. Today I'm going to be looking at experimenting with some balloons and working with balloons and smearing some colour onto a canvas as a different technique. A lot of fun to be had doing this technique. You can either work out what you want to design, abstractions, or you can make it into a floral pattern. You can do whatever you want, and I've done this as a school teacher with high school students, and they have a lot of fun and become really engaged with it. So the balloon I have is just a little red balloon. You don't have to blow them up completely. The smaller probably the better. Sometimes if you have different size balloons, you're going to get different smears on your canvas. Using recycled canvases or boards are a great way to do this. And I also use global paints as well, which is something that looks like that. So a lot of fun. The global paints are an acrylic based paint that has it's quite liquidy, so it does run. So I'm just going to walk you through the technique, have a lot of fun. As I said to you, I'm actually going to use a very small canvas, but this sort of technique is fantastic fun on a really big canvas. So if you're looking at wanting to create colour in a room, don't have a lot of money, but you want something really quick and you've got stuff lying around at home, whether it's a piece of cardboard or a board or an old canvas, a balloon, a little bit of paint, can create some really interesting abstract effects. So I hope you enjoy this series. Thanks. Today I'm just going to show you some different techniques that I've been playing around with, and it's using a balloon. Hopefully the balloon won't pop. It's looking a little bit old. It's picked up something in the bottom of my bag. It's quite interesting actually. Okay, so there's an old canvas that I'm going to be using, and what I've done is I've used some global acrylic paint. You can use any acrylic paint, and I've poured some into a cup with a little bit of water, but you can also use, if you can get your hands onto some Liquefier medium, which is pretty good for low viscosity and also basically thinning out your paint. Global paints are pretty good, they're pretty runny, but some of the other paints, like these ones over here, which is my little tubs, they're still Atelier. For some reason they're a lot thicker. If you have a look inside, quite pasty, and they're great to do impasto techniques with. Oh, my balloon's going to go down. Okay, this is what's happening to my balloon. All right, well, what I might try and do is I'll just blow up another balloon. Oop, not having much luck. All the balloons have got something wrong with it. Okay, I might try and use it the way it is. I'll see how I go. All right, so firstly, I'm going to just pour some white paint over it. It's a bit messy, and I've got a bit of like a lazy Susan here. Probably should have put some newspaper down on it. All right, now if you spin it a lot, it will move, but I'm actually going to use a spatula, and as you can see, I don't have a proper spatula. I'm just using a kitchen utensil, an old one. So just pop that in. I don't mind if there's some colours coming through it. I really like using old canvases. Sometimes you get some really great techniques coming through and colours coming through as well. It makes the next layer quite interesting. So just pat it on. Just going to slide it off a little bit. Okay, like so. Okay, a little bit more to cover areas. We don't want that to dry. Let's see if I've got another balloon, otherwise I'm in trouble, because this whole idea was to use a balloon. I don't know what's happened there. It's picked up something and it's completely disintegrated. Okay, last balloon, a red one. So they don't have to be blown up a lot, just a little bit. Less is best. You can also use rubber gloves if you want to, and blow them up and use them to dip into. Okay, so now I have a little bit of a background happening. And I have some colours here. I have magenta in the global, and I have some cool red, and some, I think it's called purple, just plain old purple. Okay, so what you generally do is, you can work out a bit of a composition if you want to, but when you have primary school children, they like to just play around with. Adults like to do this as well. So basically I'm just going to put some paint on a piece of newspaper here, or you can have it on a plate, whatever you want. I'm just going to use a spoon. Just a bit worried that that balloon is not going to work. And I might try the magenta to start with. So I've mixed this up with a little bit of water. So 1 part water, 2 part paint here, and some liquefier as well. So I'm just going to pop some here, as you can see. And I've got a bucket near me that I can put the spoon into. So you want to make sure, you can get yourself 3 spoons if you want to, but I didn't do that. I'm not organised enough. So you just dip your balloon into the paint, just like that. And then you just can create some really interesting textures and okay, so I might just pour it on there. You sometimes have to play around with the consistency. So if you've got a bit too much paint, I've done this before with less white paint and used house paint as my background, and it actually looks quite nice. So I'm just twisting the balloon a little bit. Okay, and if you want to introduce another colour, which I would like to do, just wipe the balloon. The other alternative is you blow up 3 different balloons, or how many balloons you need for the different colours, and you pop these in the bin as you go. As you see, I've already popped 2 balloons. So these were old balloons that I had left over from a party, and they don't last very long. I can't believe that that's disintegrated. Might be interesting to do something with that later. And so now I'm going to introduce another colour. So what I will do, I just fold that over, like so, just an old piece of newspaper. Okay, and then I might put a little bit of purple. I don't want too much purple, we'll see how we go. So that's it. And the balloon is fairly, dip the balloon in. You might just want to put a little bit of purple. That's kind of nice. I like the way it blends in, like, and you've got the streaks coming through. Right, so just a little bit more. Little bit here. You can control it if you want. I haven't done that. If you want to create some sort of a floral pattern, you know, really work out what sort of flowers you're going to make. I just swirled the pattern around. So now I'm wiping it off again because I'm going to introduce another colour. And I'm going to put a little bit of red, so I might just, again, fold it over. I have used my cheese board. My partner would not like this. Anyway, I didn't have. You can get one of those cake stands and some of them spin around. They're not too expensive. Okay, red. Where are we? So just a little bit of red. Okay, so keep your colour palette limited. Don't have too much. These probably work better on a much bigger canvas, and then, you know, depending on your balloons, you can make them bigger or smaller depending on what you want to do with it. So just a little bit of red, not too much. Okay, and a bit up there. That's it. Okay, just wipe it back. All right. So that's that done with the 3. Now I'm going to show you how I actually roughly mix up the colour. So I've got a little bit of green here. Okay. So it's an apple green. It's a light green. It's not, they don't have fancy names. Okay, you can put a little bit of darkness through it if you want to later on. So I'm just going to play with this. I have Liquefier, which is a great thing to use. Oops, I'm just going to take the lid off. Okay, just a little bit. Use a knife to spread it around. Just makes it a little bit sort of liquid, not too liquid. The great thing about Liquefier is that it doesn't lose its intensity with colour, whereas when you use water to thin it out, which I have done with some of the others, it does become a little bit translucent, but this doesn't do that to it. So I haven't got a great deal, so I'm just going to pour that in on top of here. Okay, I'm just going to wipe my balloon kind of clean. I'm just going to play with a little bit of what happens here. And you might just drag it across. You can get it, you know, control it if you wish. I'm going to try and mix some purple with the green just to see if I can get a little bit of tone or value in it. I don't have a darker green. As I've always said, I work with very limited materials. So let's see, if I put a little bit of green there, maybe a touch of purple. You only need a very little amount to change it. I'm not sure about that colour. It's sort of an olivey green. I really do need blue. No, I don't like that colour. Okay, so let me just see if I can use a different type of paint. Okay, I do have some Jill Sonia blue. It's still an acrylic, it's just a different brand of acrylic. So maybe if I add a little bit of that blue there, that looks nice. And a little bit green. Oh, that's a little bit better. That's what I was trying to achieve. Just a little bit of a darker green rather than that sort of khaki colour that I had before. Okay, let's see how we go. with that. Don't have to mix it all in, might be quite nice just to see. Yep, fantastic. Just picking up a little bit of the blue, I don't want too much. You can overwork a piece. A little bit more blue on the side, mix it in. This is a ultramarine blue. It's one of my favourite blues to use in my work. I've always loved it. Just be careful, I'm mixing too much, so the newspaper's getting rather wet and falling apart. This is where you should probably have a plate. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of the white there. Okay. Might just add quite a lot of blue and just get some clean green paper because it's disintegrating. Okay, might just add just a little bit of water. And a bit more green. Not too fussed if I don't put liquefier in it. I just want a tiny touch of it just to add the dark blue to and thicken it up a bit. Okay, so pop that there. So let's see what happens. Okay, that didn't change it that much, so we might need to go a bit more with the blue. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, so we won't mix it in too much. We'll just use that balloon. Try and wipe it so that you're not putting white on it because it's picking up the white, which we don't want. And a little bit up there. Okay, so done. Done. So what you can do now is you can get a knife and you can scrape areas before it dries and you can draw and move the paint round if you want. Now if the paint is liquid enough, you can actually blow with a straw and blow it and let it do its own thing. I'm just going to play with some of the lines and bring them down into here. I love these petals. I really don't want to touch them. They've worked out really, really well. Okay, so just be careful that when you take it, it will take it back, and underneath it was a reddish type of colour anyway, so you can drag some of the paint in if you want to, just to add areas in. Just put some blue in. Have a sponge nearby. I'm actually going to put a little bit more green on this side, see what happens. Just see if I can prop it right on the balloon. Just going to try a bit of an experiment, just take off excess. picks up the white, so make sure you clean it. You can go back in. You can use things like bits of cardboard and, you know, drag the paint while it's wet. I sort of like it the way it is at the moment. It looks pretty cool. And it doesn't have to be, I did some sort of a floral, but the best ones I've done pretty abstract, and I use different size balloons to have a go at it. It looks really lovely. So newspaper's pretty good because then you can just throw it in the bin. Okay, so the balloon has lasted, but as you can see, this would look fantastic with something that's sort of a bigger canvas. It's quite a small canvas, and unfortunately I'm not able to use these balloons because they just popped and went down because they're old balloons that I've been trying to recycle, but they're not working. Okay, so that's it. Give us a like if you enjoy doing it. Have a go, have some fun. Don't worry about making mistakes. If it doesn't work, all you have to do is wipe it off and start again. Wait for your canvas to dry. All I've used is little bits of board, just cut up old board that I found lying around the house. Just trying to find like a MDF. It's about 5mm in width, and you can buy it from any hardware store for about $5, and a really big sheet. You're probably going to get about 6 small boards out of it. So it can be kind of, you could do sort of a series of little different ones. And I might do another one using some gold and silver and see how I go, a little bit more abstract than this one here. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.